welcome to my channel, La Casa de Katie. I'm Katie, as you probably guessed. This is actually my first time ever making a YouTube video. I have blogged on and off for several different years in different capacities, and I've really enjoyed that, but I've never tried video. And I don't know, I've just really been enjoying watching YouTube videos, so I thought I have some things that could be good to share, so I thought I would make my own channel. On my channel, I am going to do a lot of videos about adoption and our journey with that. I'm going to do videos about home decor, organizing, vacation plans, and prep because I love planning for vacations. So today I wanted to just do a little intro video to kind of explain who I am. So I thought I would do a Q&A video. I think they're fun to watch. Maybe you don't, but I enjoy them, so I thought I would make one today. I'm a little intimidated. Obviously, it's my first YouTube video, so stick with me. You know, I might get off track a little bit, but hang in there. We'll get through this together. First of all, I chose the name La Casa de Katie for this channel because I am giving you a peek into my life, into my house, and my world, and my home. And so I hope that through this channel you can get an idea of who I am as a person, and also just get some perspective on different things that I've experienced. And I will be posting a video every Thursday at 3. I've got some good content planned for the next few months. So I hope you will join me in this YouTube journey, and you can go ahead and click subscribe so you don't miss my next videos. Today's video is a Q&A video, so I have a list of questions I'm going to answer, and hopefully it'll help you get to know me a little bit better and figure out a little bit more about the types of things that might be on my channel. So the first question is, are you married and do you have kids? Yes, I'm married. I've been married for about 6.5 years at this point to my husband, Nick, and we have a daughter named Brielle who we just recently finalized her adoption. And so I'll be sharing a lot about her adoption in my next video. So if you're interested in that, come back next week for that. Do you have any pets? I do have a dog. She's a golden doodle. She's very cute. She's also extremely hyper. So yeah, sometimes people get a little overwhelmed by her because she is a little overwhelming. All she cares about is playing. Like, some dogs love to cuddle. She can be like that, but she just loves playing constantly. Next one, are you a morning person or a night owl? This one is easy for me to answer. I am a night owl. I always have been. I've tried to fight it at different points in my life. I have to get up pretty early now for work, so I have to kind of be a morning person, but I'm not really. Like, it's as soon as I get a break, I just will sleep in and I'll stay up late, and that's just how I am. What is the last book you read? The last book I read was called I Capture the Castle by Dodie Smith. It was written in like the 1930s. It's a really interesting story. It's about a girl who grows up in a castle, but her family's really poor because it's just like an abandoned castle in England. And so it's really interesting. It almost read a little bit like a Jane Austen novel, but a lot more modern than that. So I thought it was good. Okay, this one's deep. What has required the most courage in your life so far? For me, I think something that took a lot of courage was actually, my husband and I used to live and teach overseas. So we lived in the Dominican Republic for 3 years, which is already like, some people would just think that was crazy. They would never do it. But what's even crazier is we did that 2 weeks after we got married is when we moved there. So we like graduated college, got married, moved there, and that was just like a lot at once. Still, like, I look back and I think, how did we do that? Like, why did I do that? But I'm really glad we did, because it really was a really hard but rewarding experience, and it just helped our marriage so much. Like, we got to know each other so well during that time. Next one. What is your favorite ice cream flavor? Ice cream is my favorite dessert of all the desserts. I really like either like Moose Tracks with like chocolate and peanut butter, or I like mint chocolate chip. Where's your favorite place to take an out-of-town guest? Okay, so you guys don't know this. I live in Ohio. Not the most exciting state, but I love it. I love living here. It does get very cold though. So one place I love to take my friends if they visit is to this market, and it's actually an indoor like farmer's market, but the venue is so beautiful. Like, it's got these like glass, like these windows, they're almost like walls, and they're like garage door things that open up. And so when it is sunny and nice out, they'll like open those up and you can sit in there and like eat food from all these different vendors, and they have like all these cute things you can buy, or like fresh vegetables you can buy. It's just really fun. There's a lot of artsy stuff there. What is your favorite type of clothing? Well, I really like comfy clothes. Like, I like to still look nice, but not like, I'm just not a very fancy dresser. So like, for example, this shirt has a little sleeve. Like, it's nice, but it's also like the most comfortable shirt ever. People always tell me they love this shirt and whatever, and I'm like, this is the most comfortable shirt I own, I think. So it works for me. That's what I like. I pretty much go for like how soft is the shirt when I buy it. Next one, what is your biggest fear? Okay. I mean, I feel like there are silly fears I have, but I would say my biggest like real deep fear is that I'll get to the end of my life and I'll look back and I'll feel like I didn't take opportunities I should have taken, or like I didn't say yes to things I should have said yes to. Or that I'll look back and feel like God was calling me to something and I just ignored it. And so that is probably my biggest fear. What are your favorite things about yourself? Okay, I'll try to choose a couple. It's always fun to, talk about yourself and how awesome you are. I would say one of my very favorite things about myself is I'm a very compassionate person. Like, it's very easy for me to see another's perspective or to like understand the hurt or pain that someone is going through, even if I have not experienced it myself. And I guess I always thought everyone could do that. Like, I thought everyone felt people's emotions the same way that I did. And then as I became older, I realized like, no, that's like a way that God has gifted me to like love others and understand them. And so that's something that I really enjoy about myself. I also really like I can get really stressed, but I feel like I know how to relax. Like, that's something that I enjoy about my personality. Like, I like to plan things and whatever, but I also know how to just lay back. I'm not one of those people who's like, oh, I don't know how to relax. Like, oh, I know how to relax. Like, I probably have to work more on like getting myself to do things, but I'm just pretty laid back with my time. If I had to choose like a physical thing I like about myself, I don't know, like people always compliment my eyes because they're like really blue. So I guess I like my eyes. All right, what is your favorite color? Turquoise. I'm obsessed with turquoise. This is turquoise. This is turquoise. I love turquoise. I love it. I used to joke around that everything in my house was turquoise, and a student I had actually like thought I legitimately said that everything in my house was turquoise. That's not true, but a lot of stuff is. Okay, next one. Where is your favorite place to go on vacation? Well, I've only been to Europe once, but I can tell you that that is my favorite place to go on vacation. I love exploring like old, like historical places. I love the architecture. I love the history. Like, I don't know. I just love how close everything is there and how easy it is to like jump from one country to another. So Europe is my favorite place to travel to. What do you think about more than anything else? Funny enough, I probably think about traveling a lot, but I really think it's more that I think about the future a lot. So I'm a very future-oriented person. My husband is not, but I am. I'm always like, in high school I was thinking about college, and then in college I was thinking about the next stage. And so I spent a lot of time thinking about the future, and it's something I've tried to become like more present, because oftentimes I can kind of live in daydreams or hopes of the future and just kind of like ignore what's really happening. But that's what I think about a lot. What is your all-time favorite town or city? I love Edinburgh in Scotland. Like, if I could live there, I would. I just love it. I know it's rainy and it can be really dreary, but it's just such a magical city to me. Like, one day we were there, it was like so sunny and beautiful and amazing, and the next day it was pouring and miserable, but like I just liked it both days. Like, the city's so beautiful. I love it. Next one. What was your least favorite subject in high school? Math. I don't feel like that really needs an explanation. If you could eliminate one weakness or limitation in your life, what would it be? Well, that's deep. Honestly, I think if I could eliminate any weakness, it would be the fear and worry about what other people are thinking. Because I so often let that keep me from doing things I feel like I should do. And I mean, the fact that I'm even doing this video, I guess I'm kind of already trying to overcome it. So, do you have a best friend? If so, then who? I would say my best friend is Sarah. So Sarah and I went to college together. We lived in the same like hall together. We weren't roommates, but we had like all the same classes and we spent so much time together. We were so close. We both love musicals and like singing them at the top of our lungs as bad as we can. We love all the same nerdy things. Like we just have so much in common. And then we also like have so much in common in a deep like spiritual sense. Like we can talk about our faith a lot, and we just have a lot of the same values. So she's my best friend, and she moved here 2 years ago almost, and it's amazing. How has your birth order or characteristics of siblings affected you? Okay, so I have a kind of different situation. Like I am 6 years older than my brother and 9 years older than my sister. So I was like out of the house when my sister was still in the end of elementary school. So I have a lot of like oldest child characteristics, especially when I'm with them. Like when I'm with my siblings, I kind of take on that role and I'm like, I'm gonna be your mentor. I'm gonna give you advice. I'm gonna do this. They probably are annoyed. I'm also the one that's more likely to make plans and like think ahead and organize stuff. But I also have some traits of an only child because I was an only child for 6 years. I mean, I was jazzed when I got a brother. I was all about it, but I do think I still show some traits of an only child. Like I've always been kind of an old soul and can kind of connect with older people really easily, and that's kind of a trait of an only child. All right, this one cracks me up. How many rings before you answer the phone? The answer to that would be all the rings. Like it's terrible, but I don't answer my phone very often. Like if it's a number I don't know, I will not answer it. Even if it's an area code that's around here and it could be like a doctor or something, I'm like, if it's important, they'll leave a voicemail and I can call back. And I think I've avoided a lot of spam and scamming calls that way. But I will even do that with like occasionally like a family or friend. Like if I'm just not expecting a call, I just feel like I can't take it. Would you ever consider living abroad? Yes, because I did. I don't know that we would ever live abroad again. I love the idea of like living in Europe, even if it was for a year or two, just so we could like have the experience of traveling and going to all these different countries. But I'm not sure I'm going to convince Nick of that. We'll see. If you could change something about your home without worry about expense or mess, what would you do? I would get a giant like whirlpool bathtub like with jets and stuff. Oh. Our bathtub is the worst. Like it's super tiny, and then like the faucet is on this side and the drain is on the opposite side. So like if you want to take a bath, you either have your back up against the faucet and it's like poking into you, or you're sitting on the drain, which then it pops up and it lets all the water out. So I would definitely not keep that bathtub. I would get a new one. What are some of the different jobs that you have had in your life? Okay, so my first job was cleaning my uncle's law office. And I just like went there by myself, cleaned it up. It was a very nice introvert job because I am an introvert. I really enjoyed that. The other job I had was I worked at a movie theater. That did not last very long. It was like the Dollar Theater. Wasn't very nice, but it was more like I felt like my schoolwork was too over the top, and I was like always in like theater and things like that. I don't know. It felt like too much for me at the time, so I ended up quitting. And then I worked at a drugstore for a while. And that was a pretty good job. I worked there throughout my senior year and like before college. And then the summers in college, I actually worked at a camp in Michigan, Miracle Camp. It's awesome. You should check it out. And then I was also an RA in college. And then now I'm a teacher. What is hard about being a parent? I think one of the hardest parts about being a parent is honestly the guilt. Like there's just so many expectations for what parents should be doing for their kids, with their kids, and like how to respond to different situations, and there's 100 opinions. And like I'm a researcher, so I like to research like how should I handle this situation. And even when you do that, it's like impossible because one person will say, oh, do this, or your kid will become really disrespectful, and this other person's like, oh, if you do that thing, then your kid's going to be scarred emotionally forever. So I spent a lot of the first months of our journey with adoption like just feeling guilty all the time, and it was a really dark place. I feel like I've come out of that a lot. Like I now realize like I just gotta try things and it's okay. Like I'm not gonna get it perfect. But yeah, I think that guilt for not being perfect is a big one. And then also just being patient. I think especially with a 2-year-old, like just being patient with the moods. Like she's so sweet, but she can be so bad sometimes too. So When did you immediately click with someone that you just met? Why? And what was the long-term result? Okay, this is funny. When I was in high school, my friend Jody and I met in choir class. We were watching a movie that day, and we had both just been moved to this choir. It was like the vocal jazz choir, and you had to like audition for it, and we both got moved in the middle of the year. So everyone else was kind of like close, and we were kind of new, us and a couple other of our friends now. But I didn't know anyone. Like, they knew each other, and I did not even know them. So Jody like came and sat by me in class, and she just like poured out her heart, her story. Like, she told me all this stuff. We found out we had the same birthday, just a year apart, and we just like immediately clicked and became awesome friends throughout high school. We're still friends now. I get to see her soon, and she has 3 kids now, and now I have Brielle, and they've gotten together before. It's just really cool that we're still friends from that. I'm glad that she, you know, just reached out to me when she did. If you could go anywhere in the world on vacation, where would you go? I love Edinburgh, Scotland, but since I've already been there, I would probably say New Zealand. My husband is a huge Lord of the Rings nerd, a fan, that's what I mean, nerd, and that is like his dream trip, to go and like see the studio and like see the sets that are still up. I think there's some. So that is definitely a trip I would love to take. It's very expensive to fly there, so that's a trip I want to do at some point in our lives. Hopefully not too long from now. I already have the whole thing planned, but we just don't really have the savings yet for it. So hopefully in a few years we can go do that. Well, there you have it. Hopefully you got to know me a little bit better through this video. I will be posting a lot more videos coming up every week. Thursday at 3, I will post a new video. Next week, I will actually be sharing a video about our adoption journey and how we went through the process to adopt our daughter, and I'll talk about the type of adoption we did, and I'll be happy to answer questions after that if that's something you're interested in. So check back next Thursday, and if you have any other questions for me that you want to drop in the comments, go ahead and do that, and don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed it. Thanks so much.